Hi guys, this is Brad and Monique from On Track Parenting, and today what we're going to share with you is a simple concept, but it's simple to understand, it's another thing to implement. And it is about this one word that can dramatically change your results. And the whole idea around this is to first to grasp the word, get a full understanding of what it means for you, and then you want to find a way to implement it. Let me then just share with you what is the one word that can dramatically change your results. And the one word that can dramatically change your results is the word consistency. And if we think about consistency, it's all about that repetition reinforcement. I might just check in with Monique just to find out, what her views and what her opinion is around consistency and the importance around consistency and how she feels that it can change our results.
Well, this is something that we've been talking about a little bit because we have had so much going on in our lives over the last couple of months that we haven't been able to be consistent with being able to share information with you guys, which is really important to us, isn't it, Brad?
Oh, look, when it comes to consistency, and it is about getting more information out there, consistency at the end of the day is all about just developing things into a habit. And one of the 5 foundational principles that I share with people is the concept of repetition and reinforcement. So in a nutshell, even in terms of staying in contact with you guys and developing relationships, it is all about that consistency. So that's something that I know in our busy lives, one of the things that can actually trouble us when it comes to consistency is the busyness of life.
Yes, and so that's the thing that we've been finding. And for us, what we were wanting to do is share at least one Facebook Live a week. That's consistent. And we want to be able to do that so that you can depend on us. And we want you to feel like you can depend on us to always be providing you with value. And that's the same thing with parenting, isn't it? Is that consistency. If you know that, if your children know that you're going to be consistent on a specific topic, yes, everything's open for discussion. But being consistent always, week in, week out, those consistent habits is what makes them feel really comfortable. There's actually research that shows that. It allows them to be able to practice growth mindset because they know that there's a consistency there.
And look, and when it comes to consistency, it really ties into the concept in some of our previous posts. As I said at the start of this year, I want to encourage people, as opposed to setting new goals, to encourage people to set new habits. And the way to develop new habits is through this concept of consistency. One other thing that you might want to keep in mind when it does come to consistency is the concept of some is better than none. Often people think that when it comes to consistency and doing things, I need to aim for perfect. I need to aim for, better performance as such. What I want to encourage you to do is, initially, particularly when you are wanting to develop a new habit or you're working on something in terms of consistency and you're working on this new behavior, well, keep in mind the concept of some is better than none. So it's far better off just rocking up. Let's use the example of turning exercise into habitual behavior. So initially, instead of aiming for performance when I go to the gym or when I go for a walk or when I go for a run and I need to actually time myself, what you should aim for is just showing up. Showing up will eventually get you to getting the results that you want.
Yeah, and something else in regards to parenting that could certainly be or look like is we used to, and we haven't for a while now with the introduction of Zane, is we after dinner we would always sit down and play board games together, and we would love to be able to get back to that because it was a great way for us to connect with Corey. And so it was one thing that was consistent for us. Every evening we would play the board games, and now that's the time that I'm putting Zane to bed, so we don't tend to sit down and do that like we used to. So that's something that we would like to get back to, and we've been talking a little bit about. And those little consistent things, habits, are what can also that they turn into habits, and that's part of what can create that connection.
And this is why consistency is so important, particularly when it comes to parenting. And I'll just share with you, it was this time last year, and Lisa Today did a feature article on us, and that was all about the concept, and the title was Family is Everything. And in that interview, I was asked the question, what is 3 big things that parents struggle with? And one of those things that I actually mentioned in that article was the lack of consistency. And in essence, what that was about was, parents not knowing what to do, or even if they did know what to do, not being consistent with it. So that consistency, it's a big word, or should I say it's a small word, that can actually have a big impact in our lives. So that's something you really want to take away from today's video, is this concept of consistency. And look for ways on how to apply it in every area of your life. But what we want to encourage you to do today is start with one area in your life, and start with the area of parenting. If that makes sense to you, and as a parent, if you found that lately you haven't been as consistent as what you would like to be, well, that's something you can then start to work on.
Yeah, definitely. And if it's not parenting, it might be in your work life, it might even be in your personal life. I know that we've got a self-care presentation that we've got coming up, and that's something that people don't do consistently, is practice self-care. So that's definitely another area we'd really like you to consider as well, is to make sure that that's something that you're doing consistently. So as you can see, it spans over all different areas of your well-being, so definitely something else to consider. So that's our tip that we wanted to share with you for today. So consistency, the one big word that can make a big impact on your results. And so what were some of the things that we wanted them to remember?
Look, always remember, some is better than none. It's far better off just showing up, particularly in terms of creating new habit. The big concept is, in terms of repetition reinforcement. Repetition and reinforcement is the mother of success. It's also the mother of learning, but it's also, repetition and reinforcement, which in essence is all about consistency. It's about getting the better outcomes and the better results that you want in your life. And that's what we're all looking for. We're all looking for better outcomes and better results. So this is Brad and Monique from On Track Parenting. I hope you really enjoyed today's Facebook Live. And so keep in mind the one word that can dramatically change your results, that is consistency. And this is it from us. And bye for now. May you have an on track day.
Bye.
Bye.